Welcome back to this Victory Monday edition of the Purple Rain podcast. Yes, welcome back to the Victory Monday edition of the Purple Rain podcast. Feels good. Victory Monday. I like it. This is episode 205, so you know what that means. The Marquise Brown episode, Howdy Old Friend, the Jalen Armour Davis episode, and the Joseph Vincent Flacco episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Also, the Rice Lloyd episode and the Kyle Richardson. I don't want to leave them out, but Joe Flacco lives near and dear in all of our hearts. Thank you very much.
Of course, yeah.
Victory Monday. How was your weekend, Sutton? First and foremost.
Weekend was good. Can't complain about it. At least not too much. I got to see Francis Ngannou arguably beat Tyson Fury in a boxing match, which I thought was really cool. We can talk about that a little bit later if you guys want to talk about it. But overall, good week, right? Good weekend. Ravens got the W. That's what's most important. So we're here to talk about it. Of course, you can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast, per usual. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def, like you see down below. And then this guy over here, you can find him on Twitter at SimplyAS10, and then on Instagram at SimplyAS10.prod. And of course, you can just find him anywhere pretty much at just SimplyAS10. Just Google it, TikTok it, Facebook. He's probably on there too. Who knows?
I'm not.
He's not. Yeah.
Okay. Just my personal. I don't even get on there.
Yeah. Me neither. Nobody uses Facebook anymore. At least nobody under the age of like 35 that I know, or 40.
Yeah.
Not discriminating to anybody over the age of 35 or 40 by any means. So don't take it the wrong way.
Social media.
Exactly. Let's go ahead and bring up here who we have in the live chat per usual. J Prime 235 in the house says happy Victory Monday for us once again. Cannot say the same for the Vikings. Yeah, they went through some things yesterday for sure. Our guy Kirk Cousins out for the season with an Achilles. Man, prayers up to him. Contract year, was hoping he could maybe get an extension with the Vikings. Who knows what's going to happen now? Probably going to test free agency, see what happens. But yeah, let's see. We got Mod K-Dog in the house. Says, yo, what's good, Rain Gang family, on this rainy Victory Monday? What's going on, K-Dog? Appreciate you for coming through. K-Dog says, hashtag replay gang. Listen, if you guys are not watching this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast live and you are part of the hashtag replay gang, thank you so much for coming through to this episode. We love you just as much as the live Rain gang, I promise. Make sure you guys leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We'd greatly appreciate that. Zeke Okage in the house says, what's good, Purple Rain family? What's going on, Zeke? Appreciate you for coming through. Lisa says, welcome to the Sam Cooke episode of PRP. How you doing, Lisa? Appreciate you for coming through, stopping by. We got the Mod Rush in the house says, what's good? What's going on, Mod Rush? Appreciate you for coming through. And then Lisa also says, I'm happy that Derrick Henry is not coming here. So yeah, I mean, last week we were kind of speculating
that makes one of us.
Maybe Derrick Henry. Yeah, maybe Derrick Henry will come to Baltimore. I was all for it. I wanted that to happen. But Titans came out and said on, I think it was Saturday, they said that they weren't going to trade Derrick Henry. But news came out today that today was the deadline for him to kind of sign an extension on his contract. Right. So maybe there's still a chance that they want to move him. We don't know if they want to keep him long term, but there's a chance. Darius, the official in the house, says Rain Gang. What's going on, Darius? Appreciate you for coming through. We got Rico in the house as well. We got Jessica in here, says Rain Gang. What's going on, Jess? Chike says Victory Monday. We have a chance for the AFC, but I'm not going to say anything until we get to the playoffs.
We'll talk about it.
We're going to get into it because right now, I mean, everybody wants to label us regular season champs, right? Everybody at this point
you know what? They're not wrong. They aren't wrong.
They're not wrong, but see, my problem, let's go ahead and get right into it, right? JD Killswitch, I see you in the house. Tanja Bowman, I see you in here. What's going on, y'all? I appreciate y'all for coming to do this episode. Make sure you like the video. 5 seconds of silence to like the video, starting now. Okay, did you like the video? If so, great. We appreciate you. If you didn't like the video, maybe consider liking the video. Maybe you want to stick around and hear our opinions first before you give away your hard-earned like, as I like to say. But listen, My problem with mainstream media, the pundits all around the world, whatever, it's fine if they want to label us like regular season champs. Oh, they always do this. Oh, they always do that. But these are the same people who are doubting us in the preseason, saying, oh, the Ravens aren't going to be that good this year. They're going to take away the running of Lamar Jackson. The offense is going to be terrible. They're going to lose this game, that game, the third game, and now for them to come full circle and be like, oh, well, yeah, they're always good in the regular season. There's no surprise. Well, it's a surprise to you. You didn't expect us to be doing this well. You did not expect the Ravens to be doing this well up until week 8 in the season. It's just, it just is what it is. So it kind of bothers me, to be honest with you. But
And that's why I respect your opinion, because like me and you openly agreed over the summer that the goal for this Ravens team is the AFC Championship, because that is where we have not gotten in the past how many years? Since the Super
right.
Bowl year. Divisional round is where we've been exiting. 2014 it happened. 2018 wild card, 2019 divisional, 2020 divisional, missed the 2021, and then wild card last year. Like, I want to see us make that next step, and then because once you get momentum in the playoffs, sky's the limit. We don't know what momentum is in the playoffs and how long since 2012. Like, bro, it's 2023. Times are changing, and that's like my biggest thing. And
right,
I'll
and
talk
it's
more
so
about it.
hard. Of course, and it's so hard for us to get that consistency going, which is why I understand it takes regular season champs, whatever. It's because we do tend to overachieve a little bit in the regular season, and like I was telling you before we went live here, it seems like the Ravens do this thing where they take 2 steps forward and then 1 step back, and ultimately that's just going to keep you in the same place forever, right? So it's just like something has to change, and like I do still believe that it is AFC Championship or bust essentially this year. And that's where we are. I mean, the Ravens are sitting at a healthy 6-2, going and taking on not the Arizona Cardinals, but the Seattle Seahawks next, which I think is going to be a very interesting matchup in Baltimore. We'll talk about that more on our Thursday episode. But for today, of course, this is a review episode, so we will bring up the Purple Rain Report, aka Ball Talk, brought to you by Manscaped. Listen, guys, we got a game to review. It wasn't the prettiest of games yesterday. It was not the prettiest of games at all. You guys are looking at the numbers here. Before we get into the numbers and anything like that, we do have our first super chat donation for this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Thank you so much, Darius, the official, dropping the 2-piece in the chat. Says, what's good, guys? Another win and another parlay dub. Who did you put in for the parlay?
You love
Let
to
us
hear
know.
it. I love to
Let
hear
us know
that,
your hit,
Darius.
please. Yeah.
And
But thank you.
while we're,
Yeah, go ahead.
you know what I like to see is, with Ball Talk, sponsored by Manscaped. And, you can go on there,
Yeah.
right? And tomorrow's Halloween. And it goes like day after Halloween, November. And that's kind of when the holiday season begins. All right. You know where I'm going? If you want to get an early gift, use code PRP on Manscaped, 20% off and free shipping. That's all I had to say.
See? Don't want the folks to miss out on that, right? Such a great deal. Manscaped is the gift-giving season officially. Use our code PRP on that website. You can get yourself anything you want. They got tons of great items. They're coming out with something new like damn near every other month, right? So make sure you stay on top of the game. Make sure you stay on top of your hygiene as well. Manscaped.com can help you do that. Use our code PRP. Save yourself 20% plus free international shipping, like Alex said. But yeah, getting back to the ball talk here, it's going down the numbers. A weird day, right? Because we won, we scored over 30, right, for the second week in a row. But it kind of back to back, but it still felt like we underachieved in this game. Looking at the passing yards, only 138 passing yards, 130 rushing yards, which, I mean, hell, even that should have been higher, right? To be honest with you. And then total yards, 268 to the Cardinals, 310. Lamar Jackson only 157 yards passing, 1 touchdown through the air. He went 18 for 27. An efficient Lamar Jackson day for the most part. What it is, took a couple of sacks, which I thought that Lamar Jackson, he should have been more decisive yesterday. The indecisiveness was kind of killing me. Just kind of hanging around in the pocket, taking sacks. Like if the pocket is collapsing around you, do not continue to look for the home run play.
Nope.
Because the home run play only comes from, a good base, a good situation when like mechanically, right? So like these off script home run plays aren't just going to happen. Like utilize what your best asset is, and that's your legs, And I know that the narrative, the stigma that comes with it, as soon as you take off, he probably gets in the back of his head like, oh, they're going to call me a running back. Who gives a shit? As long as we win the
Cheers.
football game, which is honestly what it seems like Lamar Jackson cares about, who gives a shit? That's how I feel. That's where I'm at on it. What did you think about Lamar Jackson's decision making and his overall play yesterday?
Well, the line, well, first and foremost, not my opinion, the stats. Ronnie Stanley allowed 4 pressures yesterday. 4 or 5. I'm going to go 4 just to be
It
nice.
was
It's either
4. It
4 or
was
5.
4.
4. That is something I take away because you are the highest paid lineman on this line by far and away. Nobody's making close to you. And you
Yeah.
have to work. It's been consistent. Like this, we have to have an uncomfortable conversation. I'm willing to have it. I love Ronnie Stanley for years. Just he couldn't stay healthy, got hurt, came back too quick, was out for a whole season again. Like, bro, you have to. You're gonna be playing Myles Garrett. I don't know if you guys saw the Seahawks just traded for Leonard Williams, so their line's not gonna get any easier. Gotta play
Yeah.
the Bengals, obviously. Gonna have to play the Steelers again. We're gonna have to play tough D lines, and you got to be on your best because the Cardinals they're kind of cooking us, and they don't have the best of edge rushers either. But I do
Yeah, they
agree
don't
with you,
have the
Lamar.
best anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, but Lamar definitely should have taken off yesterday, or thrown it away in some points. But it's just I don't know, 425, wearing the all white combination, one of my favorites. And I would say this: if we won or if we lost, that field yesterday, I would love to talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it
It was
looked like
disgusting.
there's been 3 or 4 different Pee Wee football games run on that field before the game even
No,
started, with
literally.
the grass everywhere. The look at I played on as a kid. That's what the field looked like. And I
Yeah.
saw Justice Hill. He took the screen, and he maybe could have gotten the first down. Slips. Marlon slipped a couple of times. Don't know what it was. I know both teams are playing on the field. That's why I'm bringing it up because we won. Because I don't want to use it as an
Yeah.
excuse. But yeah, definitely. Yeah,
And
bad
it's
field.
not an excuse. It's not an excuse. It was a bad field for sure. But and, you bring up Ronnie Stanley. There were a couple plays where Ronnie Stanley did let up some pressures, but it was because he was slipping. Like the field, he wasn't able to get his footing. And again, it's no excuse because everybody has to play on the same field at the end of the day. But
Yep.
what I'm really looking at is this is another one of those instances where I'm looking up at the league. I'm looking up at Commissioner Roger Goodell. Like, how are you allowing this to happen? How are you allowing this to affect your product? You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. I can understand like not wanting to switch from turf to grass or whatever. Maybe that costs a lot of money. Maybe you just don't want to go through the headache of whatever. But if you have a field, just maintain it. Like why is it not a rule? Why is it not a regulation that your field has to like pass a certain test? You know what I mean? Like a quality test or something like
Yeah.
that. Because obviously that field yesterday would not have passed anything. It wouldn't have passed shit. And I'm sorry for my language, but
Have
the field was just that bad.
no, you're good. Have them grade those fields the same way they had let the players grade the facilities, grade all of that. Remember those report cards that came out? I would love to see the report
Yeah,
cards
yeah.
on the fields. I would love for them to go after every game, get a couple of players, and have them graded on a A to a F. I would love that. And then whatever ones have the lowest ones, you try to improve them.
Yeah, I mean, like, and K Dog brings up here, Cardinals field is grass. Yeah, it was grass. So grass takes more upkeep, more maintenance. So like, I don't know what happened. Did the groundskeeper call off that yesterday, or like what?
I think it's.
I don't know.
They said they can switch it. I'm not too sure, like, because they have other events there. I'm pretty sure, but
Yeah,
I don't know. Because we saw that they were bitching about it in the the Eagles were in the Super Bowl last year. That was a big topic. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up. But yeah, line I thought could have been better.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of just gonna sit here and give some praises real quick. How about
Sure.
Rashad Bateman, by the way? I missed the first drive. I was not
Okay.
home, so I missed the Cardinals scoring a touchdown. But I watched all the offense, and man, this guy, I think he's earned more targets. Is that crazy to say? I think between the catch yesterday, saving an interception, ripping it out, and then the jet sweep where he took that for 18 yards. Rashad Bateman, I am proud of you.
Yeah.
Keep it up. You are soaring upwards.
Yeah, I mean, definitely trending upwards the past couple of weeks for Rashad Bateman. It's not even like he had a game-breaking game. I mean, we're literally celebrating 2 catches for 34 yards. But it was what he showed, off of the stat sheet, the blocking, just the willingness to have his head in the game. You see a lot of receivers
Mm-hmm.
Chase Claypool comes to mind from this year, who like once they realize that like, they're not going to be a focal point in this offense, they're just kind of there. That diva mentality that a lot of wide receivers kind of have, it takes over and they just kind of check out mentally. And Rashad
Mm-hmm.
Bateman, he could have definitely done that. He definitely could have did that,
Mm-hmm.
especially with all the slander. We saw he deleted his social media a couple weeks ago when he dropped some passes. He definitely could have been the guy to say, look, I'm checked out. Maybe I'll get traded before the deadline. Maybe I'll just coast my way to the offseason. I'll go somewhere else and I'll just kind of start fresh. No, he's still out there playing his ass off, blocking his ass off, running routes with dominance, and that interception that he saved yesterday from Lamar Jackson bad throw. I mean, that's effort. That's what you want to see out of a guy who's been struggling. Effort, So hopefully
Yeah.
going forward, he can kind of, multiply that production, and hopefully in the coming weeks we can see an 100-yard receiving game with a touchdown or something like that. Just a breakout game that'll really put him back on the map as a legitimate threat for wide
Yeah.
receiver 2 or 3. That's what I'm looking for from Rashad Bateman because he was a first round pick. Now let me shift from Rashad Bateman to Odell Beckham Jr. Let's talk about him for a
Mm-hmm.
second because
Okay.
Odell has been a guy this year for us. He has not given us what we would have liked. Now, a lot of us did not naturally expect Odell Beckham Jr. to come and, be this by this point, have like 4 or 5 touchdowns and, almost 1,000 yards, whatever. We didn't really expect that. But I think we expected more than what we've gotten thus far. Is it fair to say that we would have expected an Odell touchdown or 2 by now? No?
By we're in week 7? No, week 8. Week 8. Yeah,
Week
it is
8?
more than fair to say that.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
a
So
couple
we would have
years ago, we're
expected by
halfway
now.
through the. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. But we saw his frustration, and that's what I wanted to bring up to you, Alex. I wanted to get your,
Okay.
your take on Odell Beckham Jr. Like he's frustrated. It's clear. Slams the helmet on the sideline after the drawing that pass interference penalty, but he really wanted to come down with that touchdown. I still thought
Mm-hmm.
he could have played the ball a little bit better, and that's been my main thing with OBJ. He hasn't really been playing the ball as well as you would like him to, like when it's in the
Yeah.
air, you know, with as many spectacular catch cases in warmups, just kind of going up with ease, one hand here, toe tap there, sideline catch here with ease. But in the game, he's one-on-one with guys and he can't dominate. And I don't know if it's,
Yeah.
his I word that's kind of holding him back or what, but what are your thoughts on the state of Odell Beckham Jr. within this Ravens offense
Yeah.
right now? And what do you think can happen going forward?
So I can't wait to hear your reaction. Me
Okay.
personally, he is doing something that we hadn't had receivers do in the past number of years. He's drawing flags. I know they don't show up in the stat sheet, but to me, he got us down to the 1 yard line, helped us seal the game with that touchdown, Gus's third. I know he drew another one. I definitely want to see more out of him, but I kind of was expecting it. I wasn't expecting him to be this main guy, but he's here because he's a veteran presence. We've seen that. He's using his veteran mind to win PIs, and he was the main reason Lamar stayed. We showed Lamar we can get him a receiver. Now you're making what 18 mil SA?
Yep.
We signed him for January. We come back to this in what 4 months, 3, 4 or 5 months. Then we'll be able to talk about it. But Mac, exactly. He was here to have that playoff, run, that guy that's been there before. Yeah, but I'm not worried by any means. But I definitely want to see him get a touchdown soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too as well. And thank you so much again, Max, for your super chat
Thank you.
donation, making it rain here on episode 205 of the Purple Rain podcast. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel here if you are new. If it's your first time listening to us, we thank you, for tuning in. We appreciate that. But yeah, a Bolden type run in the playoffs, that's a little lofty. Zanquan Bolden was that guy. He was that dude. Like,
Yeah.
the dominance was just there. You could see it. Odell, it does look like he's kind of lost a step for sure, and that's natural. You get hurt a couple times. You're kind of aging through your career. What is this? OBJ's what, 9th season or something like that?
Yep.
Yeah. So
2014 draft.
yeah. So we had to temper expectations even coming into the season on what he was going to be able to do for this offense. But that is why we had so much faith in Zay Flowers, who I think has produced. for sure. He's met expectations. Zay Flowers has, but that's where Rashad Bateman kind of fits in. Because again, me personally,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting Odell Beckham Jr. to perform on the same level as a Rashad Bateman this year. I wasn't. A lot of people, national media will tell you, oh yeah, Odell Beckham Jr. way better than Bateman. He's gonna have way more production, that sort of thing. But me, I'm thinking, okay, I'm relying on Rashad Bateman. He's much younger. He's gonna have a lot more burst. Um, maybe more of a chip on his shoulder to prove himself because he really hasn't done that yet. Odell Beckham Jr. has been around the block, right? I mean, he's been there, done that, been to Pro Bowls, got a Super Bowl ring, things like that. He's been around the block, but Bateman has more to prove. So I was expecting more from Bateman. Hopefully Odell can, turn up in the playoffs in January comes around. He'll still be healthy and he can make some plays happen. But all I know is we didn't pay $18 million to draw some flags. I know that,
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I would like to see how many yards he's gained through flags, and then kind of compared to the receiving core of years prior. And it's probably more already in 8 games than on any of them in prior years. But yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of growing, and we're week 8, we're a professional football team. There should be no excuse for that. I think 4 to 6 weeks is fair, but we're week 8 now. We got to get this going. One thing I will say is that I watched the press conference yesterday, and Lamar looked pissed, didn't look happy. Even in Marlon's post game live, I don't think he wanted to be in it. Now,
then
I don't
again,
know
he
how you
never
feel
does.
about that, but yeah, I love it. I mean, to me, he's locked the fuck in. Part of my language.
Mm.
He knows what this team is capable of. I think this is their best roster since 2018. I think we can really make a run the way the AFC is looking right now. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But I think he kind of knows what the potential of this team is, and he realizes that we aren't playing up to that caliber. So I don't know whether it's a Monken conversation, a Harbaugh conversation, a DeCosta conversation, but I really just want this offense to get it together because there's just so much potential. And he said we should have ran it more with Gus, and I agree.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. What do you
They
feel
had no
about
answer
that?
for Gus. Yeah, they had no answer for him. I mean, he was moving the chains, a hat trick of touchdowns. I feel bad if you bench him in fantasy. Averaging what four a little over 4 yards a carry. When we talk about that, you that's a first down every 3 carries.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly. I do agree with Lamar. We've been throwing the ball a lot. We've been throwing it all around the yard, and I think there has been a slight imbalance in that. I mean, you got to look at the personnel we line up in half the time. 48% of the time, the Ravens line up in 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end. They're trying to spread things out. They're trying to throw the football, but I think in order for that side of the offense to be successful, the passing side, that is, we have to set it up with the run. And I of course, I'm preaching to the choir here. Everybody knows that, but Todd Monken doesn't seem to know that. Lean on Gus a little bit more. Lean on Lamar Jackson's legs a little bit more. Honestly, I think that, and listen, I'm no NFL coach, but I think it'll be smart if we ran a couple of design Lamar Jackson runs early in the game, just to kind of remind the defense, hey, this is what we're capable of. So you better be on your P's and Q's at all times, or we will hit you with this and you will pay for it. Keep defenses honest right out the gate, because they're watching tape. They know the fact that we line up in 11 personnel 48% of the time. They know that, right? So they're trying to slow down the passing game, but you have to even it out with the run. What are your thoughts?
I mean, because I don't know, because Lamar hit him with that read option yesterday. They all were fooled.
Yeah.
He broke it for what, 11, 12 yards, nothing crazy. I don't know, just that's kind of a reason why he resigned. He didn't want to run as much, less design runs, but just there's that dynamic. You have to have at least 1 or 2 in there. I'm not saying 5, 6, 7, but like you said, keep them honest. Don't know when you put it in there, but just let them know that, hey, like if you want to sit here and stack the box and think you're going to stop this run, our quarterback can run too. And that's why I think we're still looking for a running back. I don't know who it is, but there's a couple of names that have come up, and even no Saquon's and no Derrick Henry's that kind of tickle my fancy. I'll be honest. We'll talk about those later, but I still think we get a running back before 4:00 tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to be Derrick Henry, but it could be somebody that is around what we have or a little bit better.
Yeah. And that is one of the things we want to talk about on this episode, the trade deadline rumors? Like, what would we like as Ravens fans for the franchise to do? I personally would still prefer an edge rusher over a running back, to be honest with you. And I guess we can kind of talk about that a little bit too. I mean, the defense yesterday was good, not great. You know, it was good, not great. It didn't really look like it did in weeks past where it was just completely dominant. Obviously, they come down on that first drive and score the touchdown, which wouldn't have been if Kyle Hamilton didn't get that flag. Because I think we had a sack. Justin Madubuike had a sack on third down that got wiped out because of
Yeah.
that Kyle Hamilton penalty. But defense just didn't look as good as it did in weeks past. Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith didn't have their best game, right? Didn't have their best game as compared to what they did in weeks prior again. And then really what saved us was a couple of timely turnovers, timely turnovers.
Yep.
And that's been the story all season long. Like we literally could be, have 3 more losses than we do right now if it weren't for Geno Stone. And I guess we
Bro,
can talk about Geno
this
Stone. 5 picks.
okay, I'm sorry. Bro, why the fuck was Chuck Clark playing? I've had this on my chest for a while now. I remember when we cut Geno Stone. All right. You have Chuck Clark playing there getting beat. All because he had the green dot. Really? Really? Is this why he was
Now,
playing?
come on, that's not fair, Alex. That's not fair. We love Chuck. We loved him.
Fair. Great professional. But we almost lost Geno Stone.
That's
all
true.
right. And we talked about for years, we can never get the turnovers. Never. Who was out there getting picks on our Deshaun Elliott and Chuck Clark? No. We get Marcus Williams in his first 3 games. He's sitting there catching the ball like crazy.
Yeah.
Geno Stone saving our ass. Hell, Brandon Stevens learned how to catch this year. It's a Christmas miracle.
It's another way for us to win, which I think is important.
I mean, I'm just happy that we have guys back there that can catch. We deserve this. We deserve the interceptions because we haven't had a ball hawk, honestly, since. I mean, Peters was getting his, but like a safety since Reed. Like, think about that.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
we had Marcus and Geno.
Again, like I said on one of the last episodes, Geno kind of filled a void that we didn't even really know we had because we weren't getting those type of picks, recently. So shout out to Geno Stone. Just has a nose for the football this season. 5 picks already, leads the NFL in interceptions. In case you didn't know, most people who listen to the show, they know Ravens news like the back of their hand. But in case you did not know, Geno Stone leads the league in interceptions with 5 picks, and he's got 1 in the last 3 games, which is crazy.
Man, and we cut him 2 times.
Yeah.
He was playing special teams because he was a 7th round pick with a 2nd round grade. That's where my problems are. Like that's my problems with this team. Like we just sit here and we don't know how good these guys. Like a Zach Sealer, who's balling for the Dolphins, got his 2nd contract. We cut him probably because he couldn't be a gunner or couldn't get pressure on a damn punt.
Yeah.
I'm glad we had those 6 4th round picks last year too. Jordan Stout's been the best one.
That's a fact. Shout out to Jordan Stout.
All right, I'm sorry. We're 6-2. I don't know why I'm upset.
We're 6-2. We're like
we're
acting like we're 2-6. That's the funny thing.
I think because we've been through it the past 2 years.
Yeah.
The end of Lamar contract really messed with us.
Yeah, definitely traumatized us a little bit. I mean, multiple things have traumatized us. I can talk about 2019 playoffs. Talk about 2021 against the Bills. Oh my goodness.
2020.
There's been multiple moments, like heartbreaking moments in the playoffs. I mean, hell, just last year, exactly. Tyler Huntley, the fumble.
I mean, we started the tush push, by the way. We kind of started it, but Huntley went over. He should have just went through
went over the top. Right, exactly. Yeah, he missed that part. But yeah, man, I mean, it goes back to what we were saying to lead off the show. It seems like the Ravens have it figured out in the regular season, and especially against NFC teams. Now, Lamar Jackson being 16-1, or is it 17-1 now? I think it's 17-1 now against NFC teams. Week. Yeah, after we beat the Seahawks. Yeah.
His only loss is to Daniel fucking Jones. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm upset today. To him,
that game.
To Daniel Jones.
And
$40 million.
They came back on us in that game. Like we started off really strong in that game too, and we still ended up losing. That one still bothers me.
We lost a wink.
Yeah,
we lost a wink, Martin. All due respect, Wink. Thank you. I love Mike McDonald, by the way.
Yeah.
Fantastic guy.
Okay. Let's okay, let's talk about some trade deadline stuff, right? So trade deadline is tomorrow. We just kind of touched on it a little bit briefly, but I want to get the opinions of the Rain Gang. And then if you're not watching live, you're part of the hashtag replay gang. Make sure you leave your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns down below. We'd love to hear them. We got Mod Boz in the house. Says like the video now. Shout out to Boz.
Howdy,
Listen to
Buzz.
Boz. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Boz is a
We
Steelers fan
listen.
for those of y'all who don't know.
We could be Steeler fans. I don't want to know how mad
It
I'd
could
be
be
if I was
worse.
a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
Honestly, like,
But
Pickett
honestly,
hurt. Well, kind of.
you know what?
Listen, we went through it last year. Quarterback hurt.
Yeah, I
You
was
you
gonna
hate your
say
offensive coordinator.
offense is slow,
You know
defense is
what?
balling. Yeah, like we've been there. We know how that feels. We know
Yeah,
exactly how that feels.
the
So
Jags are
yeah,
trolling you. The Bengals were trolling us. I don't want to
yeah.
hear that. Buzz.
Um
Steelers.
okay. So talking about the trade deadline. Jeremiah says Saquon. He's just gonna throw that out there. Saquon, he wants the running back. I've seen a lot of people talking about Saquon Barkley potentially being traded to the Ravens. He's, obviously a very physical runner, lots of talent, but he's good run blocking as well, which is something that we're kind of missing with a Justice Hill. Not really a run, good at blocking, pass protection. I'm sorry, not run blocking. I'm sorry, pass protection. Justice Hill's not very, good at pass protection. So I think that bringing in a Saquon Barkley would definitely help with that. But again, Saquon's one of these guys who he's got to get his money, you know, and I just don't see us being able to. It'd be a rental. It'd be a rental, you know.
Yep. Yep.
And will it help us win a
Danny
Super
King got
Bowl
picked for
this
too.
year? Exactly. Will it help us win a Super Bowl this year? I don't know, because at the end of the day, I think that the most important positions that you need in the playoffs is going to be edge rusher, because there's a lot of talented quarterbacks when it comes to playoff time, right? You got to be able to get those guys on the ground. You cannot be chasing them around for what would be a 20-yard sack and then let them spin out of it and let them throw it away. You just can't, because Patrick Mahomes will make you pay. I'm talking to Odafe Owe right now. I'm gonna go off on a little tangent right now. I'm just talking
Your
to Odafe
tweet.
Owe.
No, take it away. Take it away.
I'm just saying, like, if you cannot finish that sack, and you guys all know which sack I'm talking about from Odafe Owe, if you can't finish that sack against a Josh Dobbs, Patrick Mahomes will make you pay for letting him spin out of that. Okay, Joe Burrow will make you pay. Trevor Lawrence even will make you pay for letting him spin out of that. That cannot happen, you know. So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't want a running back at all. Love what you're saying here, Jeremiah. Saquon Barkley, that'd be great. That'd be cool. Extra juice to the offense, extra juice to the running game. But we need guys coming off that edge who can put guys on the ground, quarterbacks preferably. So that's where I'm at with it, to be honest with you. Let me see. Max Offit here says, "Is Brian Burns really that good? I'm not familiar with his game. I can't cap."
I think he's pretty damn good. First round pick, good. I know. If we got Roquan for a second, I really can't give up a first for that. Like, we've seen what Roquan has done even before he was a Raven.
Yeah. There was another play where, who was it? Jadeveon Clowney can't fall on the fumble, right? Like,
yeah, that is fundamental football you were taught as a child. Fall on the ball, and it screwed us out of 3 points minimum. But nobody want to sit here and have butterfingers and just play freaking hot potato with the ball and just not pick it up.
And those are small things, right? Those are small things, because we still ended up getting the ball right after that play. But those plays are the difference between, good teams and great teams. Like, I think you mentioned me on X about that yesterday. That's the difference between good teams and great teams. Who can finish the play? We're not finishing enough plays right now. And I get it. We're in October. We're not even in November yet. We almost are. But this team has got to kind of, they got to tighten up some loose ends right now. There's definitely still some loose ends on this team. We're lucky to be 6-2. At the same time, we could be, oh my goodness, man. We could be what, 3-5 right now? We could very well be 3-5, and we could also very well be 8-0. That's the craziest thing.
If I don't want to do the if buts or maybes, but if Geno Stone doesn't get a pick against the Titans, I think we lose.
Yeah, the way that game was
I
going.
truly think that because we had no type of momentum. They were running all over us, doing whatever they wanted
Hell,
to.
yesterday, if Geno Stone didn't get that pick yesterday, what I said on the Thursday episode, us letting these bad teams kind of hang around and hang around and hang around till it gets late, and then they wake up like, oh shit, it's only a 5-point game. We were supposed to be getting blown up by 50 at this point. Maybe we are better than we thought we were. We're gonna go out and win this game. We almost let that happen again. If it weren't for a timely turnover. So, those things have to be kind of shored up. And I think it starts with the offense. We can't expect this defense to go out week in and week out and just be lights out, because if the defense was playing on the same caliber, or no, I'll say this. If the offense was on the same caliber as the defense, we'd look like world beaters right now. We would look like absolute world beaters. But that's not the case. So I think it does start with the offense. I think it starts with kind of balancing out the attack a little bit more, right? And kind of letting teams or making teams be honest, play us honestly, because I think leaning a little bit too heavily towards the pass game, which when I know we want to get Mark Andrews and Odell Beckham Jr., Rashad Bateman, all those guys, Zay Flowers involved, it's going to make it a lot easier to get them involved if we're having teams stack the box against us because they're so afraid of their run, when we can hit them with that play action, things like that. Now, I want to bring up one play.
Okay.
Really quick. And I know we were talking about trade deadline stuff, but did you see that? Yeah, we'll get back to it. Did you see that play? The touchdown pass to Mark Andrews. I think Brian Baldinger he released a video about it.
Baldy.
Like an hour ago, and like just watching that play from the end zone angle, and like Lamar kind of whips that ball in the end zone like on one leg. That was insane, and I think he threw it like at least like maybe 20 yards. Yeah, exactly.
That should be the new logo for the NFL.
But if you notice before the game yesterday, the Ravens posted a video of Lamar Jackson warming up, and he hits this crazy weird like this kind of flick of the wrist throw, and I was like, he'll never use that in game. Like, I mean, it looks cool, but he'll never use it in game.
Oh, he did.
Uses it in the exact same game on the same day. Like it was wild to watch. And Nick D says here, crazy arm strength. Yeah, if you guys know which play I'm talking about, it takes some crazy arm strength, crazy core stabilization in order to make that throw and have it be on point the way it was to Mark Andrews for the touchdown, man. That was just incredible. I just want to bring that up to you guys really quick.
Oh, I'm glad you did. But yeah, I'm just thinking about trades right now, honestly. It's kind of been slow. I'll tell you what, though. Speaking of trades and this whole Derrick Henry stuff, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
The Titans had no problem letting go of Kevin Byard. No problem.
Yeah.
But when it's Derrick Henry, there's a problem. I mean, if y'all just want the Eagles to win it, just say that. But I understand there is a little rivalry between us and the Titans. I get it.
Yeah. I mean, plus they traded him out of the conference too.
Yeah, I get it. So when he walks for nothing next year, who's going to have the last laugh?
Right, exactly.
To be fair, though, Will Levis looked pretty damn good. All right, I'm not going to sit here and lie.
Oh, yeah.
He looked pretty damn... And those uniforms looked even better, too.
The Oilers, the throwbacks. Love those.
But who owns it? Does Tennessee own it? Does Houston own it? I saw
good question. Good question.
There's that whole... Yeah. So, well, that's...
another day. Okay, so we have over 70 people watching live right now. Thank you so much for coming out and tuning into this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. If this is your first time listening to Sutton and Alex talk, thank you so much. We really do appreciate you coming through, joining this episode of the show. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new and you're enjoying what you're listening to. Okay, so getting back to the trade deadline stuff, I see a couple of things in the chat here. Zach White says, Montez Sweat, please. Now, I heard a lot of rumors. Saying that either Chase Young or Montez Sweat is going to get packaged up and shipped out by tomorrow. So if it's either one of those guys, to be honest with you, I'm happy. Because like I said, I need an edge rusher. And I like what I've seen from Jadeveon Clowney so far, and hopefully Owe can get it together. But I've been saying that the past 3 seasons. I need somebody who is proven, you know what I mean? Somebody who can get after the quarterback, somebody who can feel motivated by joining a winning team like the Ravens, That's what I think we really need on this team right now, to be honest with you. But what do you think about Montez Sweat?
Won't be a 6.5 sacks this year in 8 games. Sign me up. And I was watching Jordan
Yeah.
Schultz today on a Bleacher Report. Sweat is more likely to be moved than Chase Young.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. I
Yeah.
will leave it
That's
at
what I've
that.
heard too.
So Sweat would make me very happy. You know, I just need that dopamine rush. I need that Twitter notification of the Ravens have traded. You know, just like last year we got Roquan. I need that rush, that excitement. You know, because then we're like
Yeah.
we're going in. You know, I can get excited for like a playoff run.
Right.
But man, getting Sweat and who knows what's going on with Tyus Bowser? It's a mystery right now.
So
I mean,
Harbaugh
maybe
came
he
out today and said that he spoke with Tyus Bowser recently, and there's no exact timetable on his return, but it was a positive conversation, quote unquote, a positive
okay.
conversation that he had with him. So he
I
said
mean,
hopefully they can get him back this year sometime, but you know how Harbs is. He keeps the cards close to his vest. So we really don't
he,
know.
I mean, getting a guy like him back later in the year, man, our bye week is week 13. So just keep on winning. Like I said, we're 6-2, and I'm still not happy. Which I don't know. Maybe because we were 8-3 a couple years ago, and that's still haunting me in the back of my head. Because yes, I think
Yeah.
about that, and then we just went downhill. But
Oh, we were 14-2 a couple years ago. Like it's just yeah,
fuck that
yeah, man.
season. Fuck that.
We know what happens in the regular season. I think we're all kind of holding our breath for those playoff games because those have been kind of rough for us in the past couple of
Yeah,
seasons. So we'll see if we can turn it around. Jeremiah says, I am always the guy saying get more pass rush, but I think biggest single player impact would be a feature back, all pro running backs anyway. Yeah, I mean, I've said it
it's
myself here
possible.
on this podcast. Like, I think that we need a home run guy at running back, and Dobbins was supposed to be that guy before he got hurt, obviously. And it would be great to have that back, but there are more pressing needs, more pressing matters than running back right now. I think the run game will be fine. Gus Edwards and Justice Hill, when we finally get Keaton Mitchell in the rotation, maybe he can, show some pop at that position too. With the addition of Lamar Jackson being able to run the football too, we don't need a running back. I think we need a pass rusher a little bit more. That's just me. That's just me.
I'm looking at a running back, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going like 45, 55, 45% running back, 55% edge rusher, maybe 40-60. But guys I'm looking at now, Josh Jacobs on a 1-year deal. Javonte Williams from the Broncos, fantastic pass blocker. If you're
Mm,
talking about that with the running backs, I would really like him.
yeah.
Uh, and then if Dalvin Cook gets cut, I don't want to trade for him if he got cut. That's all I'm looking at, honestly. I don't want to tie Montgomery like we did a couple years ago. I don't need
Nope.
that. No, I don't. That's just a waste of a signing at that point. Then just
Yeah.
get Kenyon Drake back if that's what you really think is the solution.
Literally.
But as for edge rusher, I mean, Hunter, Young, Burns. I mean, they're all out there. Sweat.
Yeah.
So
Let me see. Jeremiah says he makes the argument here. Says the running backs are not leading in yards per carry like the defense is leading in sacks. Thoughts on that?
why not both? Let's get greedy. Let's do what the Eagles do every single year and just trade for everybody, sign them to 1-year deals, and you know are
Stack the
loved.
deck, try to win.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
That's some fun.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at around the league, right? So let's take a look around the league and see what happened yesterday. I'll go ahead and start. We kind of touched on it. The Titans and Will Levis. The
Mm,
Titans and Will Levis, man. I mean, wow, I did not expect that at all. 3 touchdowns from DeAndre Hopkins, threw one to I think it was Westbrook Akine. Man, and
yeah.
I don't even know what to say. I'm just glad we played them already, so we don't have to like go toe to toe and
Yep.
go to toe.
Yep.
Man, what were your thoughts on that? It was kind of mind boggling. See the Titans kind of
Yeah. I
reemerge in
was
a way.
see that's my thing. Like I was hoping they would lose so they would go into full fire sale mode. But
Yeah.
like that's just they played Desmond Mitter in the Falcons, man, and he gets benched. He gets benched. I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know what's going on with these Falcons. But yeah, Will Levis, he showed me something. Probably gonna be one of the guys who's gonna prove me wrong because I wasn't the biggest fan of him. Probably just because I wanted the Ravens to keep Lamar, and there was talk that we were looking at him if we didn't sign Lamar. But hope he
Hmm.
has a good career after yesterday. Good way to start it.
Yeah. No worries. I mean, we'll see. Who do the Titans have next week? That's what I want to know. That'll let's see what his next test is. Titans schedule. Because I really want to know who this
Yeah,
kid's about.
the division game. Oh
Steelers.
yeah, Thursday.
Steelers
Thursday
next.
night.
Yeah. Thursday night. Oh, yeah. So we get to watch him prime time this
And
Thursday.
Mink is not playing too. He's out.
Okay. Okay. That'll be interesting. We'll have to
Yeah.
monitor our friend Boz for that one
Oh
for sure.
yeah, yeah. But a game I want to talk about yesterday. All right. I'm gonna sit back, kick my feet up. The Chiefs and the Broncos. Yup. In Denver. Uh the Broncos finally got the best of the Chiefs after what, 15, 16 games.
Yeah.
Beat them convincingly too.
I don't know. I don't. It's not looking like the Chiefs can beat the Taylor Swift allegations. I'm just saying.
That's all.
Just saying.
Yes. She is a
I'm just
curse.
saying. Yeah, it's looking like
Keep it going.
I mean,
Keep it going.
it can't be a coincidence. It can't be a coincidence.
It's
And
not.
like the differences in their performances, specifically Travis Kelce, when she's there versus when she's not there, it's just crazy to me.
Just shake the L off. Just shake it off. Fuck them. I want them in the playoffs so I can make a Taylor Swift tape of us beating them. That would make my life. I quit videos after that. I quit. It's over.
Yeah.
Vince Carter.
Do you know
it's
how
over.
happy? Do you know how happy it must make all the Swifties to know that like Travis Kelce's not playing well when Taylor Swift's not at the game? Do you know how happy it's got to make them? Those fans who like never knew anything about football, but now they know that like, oh, this team is losing now because Taylor's not. It's wow, man. Taylor Swift fans, they're up right now. They are up right now. That's for sure. I think she just crossed like $1 billion in net worth or something like that last week. Yeah, they're up right now.
Listen,
for sure.
Good for her. Her music just isn't for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, not really for me either. To be honest,
I can rock with the white girl songs. I'm just not a big fan of that. Honestly,
is there stuff other than white girl songs?
I'm just saying. I mean, like there's some white girl songs that you can bang with,
right?
Play at the bar, but just that. I mean, have you ever been at the bar and heard a Taylor Swift song? Personally, when I was in college, I never did. I never heard it. They never put Taylor Swift on there. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, there you have it. Looking at some of the other games from yesterday, one that I was actually paying very close attention to was the Eagles and Commanders game. Came on at 1 o'clock yesterday.
Yeah.
All I can say is that AJ Brown is him. I definitely think that he is the best receiver in the NFL right now. And Tyreek Hill is a close second. But just the things that he's the prototypical X receiver that you would want, that any team would want, the archetype of a receiver that I've been begging for on the Ravens for years. Big body guy, doesn't even necessarily have to be the fastest guy, but can just go up over the top of anybody and just get it, and we saw that yesterday on multiple occasions. At what? He had 2 touchdowns, right? Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns. That first one one-handed, right? And it wasn't even like a bobble. Most times, guys, the ball hits their one hand, it bobbles off that hand. They use that to kind of bring it in with both. Like, no, he catches it with one hand. The hand strength is just crazy. Grips it, brings it into a second hand, and keeps both feet in bounds for the touchdown.
Insane.
It's just insane. With the defender draped all over him, and then scored again later in that game. He's had over 100 yards receiving in 6-7 straight games.
125.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Speaking of that game, I saw a clip on X or Twitter when Julio Jones caught his touchdown. It was a video of Shaq dunking with the Celtics, and Shaq barely could get up off the ground. And I'd be lying with it. I wasn't tearing up at that. But good for Julio. Yeah. Love watching him. Yeah. Hopefully, he does great things with them, just not against us. If we were to see them in a certain game, I'm not going to say what game that is. But yeah, I was happy the Commanders lost as well for tanking reasons, for trading implications. But Mr. Ron Rivera, your time is coming to an end, unfortunately. I'll tell you that. I don't see how much longer he has in Washington.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's just been too many miscues, I would say, over the past couple of seasons between him and, and coaching that team. It's just the whole thing last year with not knowing the situational awareness, not knowing that
Mm,
they were eliminated from the playoffs.
how do you?
It's just bad. Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
low key like? I guess see like Harbaugh doing some BS like that. You know,
Oh
it
man.
has happened before. I'm pretty sure. Just like we didn't know or it didn't happen. It did with a 2-minute warning. He didn't know it was a 2-minute warning against the Colts this year.
Well, that was a weird situation though, because they had like reset the
Fair,
clock at the last second, and Zay
fair,
Flowers was already out
fair.
on the field, and yeah, so I kind of get that one, but
You get a pass, John.
but Riverboat Ron, I would never be able to let John Harbaugh live down what Ron Rivera did in that press conference last season.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
crazy. That was crazy. But yeah, no, he'll definitely be out of there. I think that they believe in Sam Howell at least to a certain degree.
yeah.
I like Sam Howell. He made a couple mistakes down the stretch yesterday, but I mean, you're going up against the Eagles, man. It's just they're a really good football
They,
team. I think that the Eagles, especially with the regression of the 49ers, the Eagles they can take it all the way for sure.
the Manders play the Eagles so hard. It reminds me of how like the Browns and Bengals would play us in years prior. They would just give us all they had, and like that's their Super Bowl. It really is.
Yeah.
They broke their undefeated streak last year, but this year they lost both games, but they gave them hell. One game though, got to talk about. Speaking of the Niners, the Bengals and the Niners, Joe Burrow looking good, looking healthy. I'm happy we beat them already. Got that Thursday
Yeah.
night game in Baltimore. They're looking, Higgins is back. Boyd had a touchdown. Um, hopefully we can stop their hot run. I mean, we're not on a 3-game winning streak, but
Yeah.
still, it's you don't want to see your rivals heat up like the Bengals because we know what they're capable of doing.
Yeah, definitely. Bengals are looking a lot better, and the 49ers are looking a lot worse. But, the 49ers do have their bye right now. I think that they'll be fine. They need to get Trent Williams back for sure. They cannot run the ball without him. They like to, run the ball to that left side right behind Trent Williams, and haven't been able to do that. No Deebo Samuel, of course, waiting to get him back. So yeah, I think they'll be fine after the bye week. They kind of gotta regroup, lick their wounds a little bit. Brock Purdy's got to get the upstairs straightened out.
Yeah,
Brock
yeah,
Purdy wasn't even all that bad up until he started throwing, picks and things, turning the
yeah.
ball over. That's and he's a young quarterback still. He's basically still a rookie in my book. In my book, Brock Purdy is still a rookie. He really does not have all that much experience at all. This is his first year starting. So yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I think the 49ers will be fine, but man, the Bengals look good. I can't lie.
So there's rumors now that the Ravens are still the favorite if Derrick Henry were to get traded. That's all. It just pops up on my watch. I don't think it's going to happen. Don't get your hopes up. That's
I
all I'm
mean,
going to say.
no shot he gets traded now after Will Levis just goes out there and chucks up 4 touchdowns and gives every Titans fan hope.
Yeah,
Like, why would you get rid of Derrick Henry now?
yeah,
Like, there's no reason to blow it up anymore.
yeah.
So,
Another game I do want to talk about is the Seahawks, who we see next week, beating the Browns. Jackson Smith and Jake Bell with 40 seconds left. I knew I liked you for a reason, JSN. Uh, that's big. I mean, the Browns, even without a starting quarterback, were playing them, giving them all they had.
yeah.
They're what 3-4, maybe I want to say, or 4. I'm not too sure, but they're
I think they're 4-4.
4-4. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're stuck in 2-game lead. We still got to play. We play them in 2 weeks after the Seahawks. So
Yeah.
let's go on a nice streak.
Wait, who do we have right after the Seahawks?
The Browns.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying
Yeah.
like 2 weeks after the Seahawks.
Oh
Okay.
no. Yeah.
Okay. Got you. Okay. Yeah. So that is around the league. A couple of games from yesterday, kind of giving you our thoughts on those. Obviously, we have a Monday night game going on tonight. Now we're going to go ahead and get into some questions from the Rain Gang. So make sure you drop your questions down below at this time. If you're not watching live, you're part of the hashtag replay gang. Again, thank you for joining this episode. Make sure you leave your questions down below in the comment section because we do like to get back to those as well. This super chat donation, though, is coming from G Money himself, Gerald Lawson, dropping a 10 piece in the chat. Purple Rain Pioneer
From the
himself,
corner.
man, from the
Just
corner, pulling up. I have not had the chance to chat much about my Rashad Bateman, but he played surprisingly well. Happy for my guy. Yeah, Joe, we touched on it a little bit earlier in the episode. Obviously it wasn't a 6 catches, 100-yard game, or in 2 touchdowns from Rashad Bateman. He had 2 catches for 34 yards, but the effort is there, and that's what's important right now. The effort from Rashad Bateman is what we want to see, especially after he was struggling early on in the season. If we can get his confidence back, I think that we can see great things coming from him in the future. And I wanted to see, me personally, the relationship between Lamar Jackson and Rashad Bateman kind of I don't know, grow a little bit, because I can argue that Rashad Bateman is one of the only, what you could say, like, homegrown receivers that Lamar really hasn't taken you know what I mean? Like, he really
No,
hasn't, like,
I get you.
accepted him as, like, this is my guy, right? Like
Yeah,
he did with Hollywood, like he's done with Zay Flowers, like he did with Mark Andrews.
yeah,
Same hasn't been said for Rashad Bateman. So I think Rashad Bateman posted an Instagram picture today, and I was happy. You wanna know why?
yep.
Because Lamar Jackson commented on it. I
I
was
saw,
I was just happy because of that.
bro.
I was like,
How do you know how he edits his pictures? Because like the look he gets on his pictures is like beautiful. I love
yeah,
like just
yeah. He's definitely an artist
it's a
for
very
sure.
nice. Drop the Lightroom, drop the
Yeah,
preset. I
drop
want it.
the presets. Drop the LUT packages. Come on, bro. Don't be stingy.
Honestly, but yeah, I mean, like what I saw from just ripping it out, and that one jet sweep was more successful than any Duvernay jet sweep this year, or if he's even had any. But Bateman,
I
I
don't think
love to
he's
see we're
had
getting
any,
him,
has he?
just I think one or two. He doesn't have the catch
Maybe,
this year,
yeah,
I know,
maybe one or two.
but
Yeah.
I'm happy that we're getting him involved more. Hopefully, he soars up. But I'm gonna keep it cool. But he definitely, he's bouncing back. He's not just like you said, like you made the great comparison to Chase Claypool. When the going gets tough for guys like Claypool, it's me. Bateman's been
Yeah.
we. So I
Mm,
like that.
yeah. Yeah, I like that too. All right. Thank you so much again for your super chat
Thank you.
donation. Always supporting the show, always coming through. We appreciate you, Gerald. We really, really do. Dropping the 10 piece in the chat there. That is Gerald. Let's see. So Lisa with a question here says, how do we contain Russell Wilson and not give him all day to throw? What I'm expecting in that game is more coverage sacks than anything. I think what needs to happen, honestly, and I think we've been getting pretty good pressure. I mean, hell, we lead the league in sacks, so we got to be getting pressure. But the issue is we're not finishing at as high of a clip that I would expect us to. Like, we're getting in the backfield. Get this guy on the ground. This is Russell Wilson in 2023. Okay, not 2013, not 2014. Russell Wilson. So
We're
it's
playing
not even
Geno,
like his escape. Exact.
Geno
Oh,
Smith.
shit. Wait. What are we talking about? Why are we talking about Russell Wilson then?
Yeah, it's Geno Smith now, not.
Why am I thinking we're about to play the Broncos now? You got me thinking we're about to play the Broncos, Lisa.
I'm sorry. No.
No, we're playing. We're
Seahawks.
playing Seattle. I don't know why I'm thinking we're playing
I'd
the
much rather be
Broncos.
playing the
But look,
Seahawks than the Broncos right now, honestly.
yeah, to be honest. But yeah, same. Honestly, same kind of thing. To be honest, I think Geno Smith, one of those guys, good, but against a Ravens caliber defense, I think we give him issues. I think we give him a lot of problems. There's pressure in his face
Yeah,
early. He gets uncomfortable. We knock him off of his spot. And I think we force a couple of turnovers out of him. I think that that's going to be the key to victory. Like, it's been the key to victory out of all of our games. All of our games. Like I said, timely turnovers.
yep,
Timely turnovers. That's all it's been. Geno Stone. Brandon Stevens got the first one yesterday to stop the bleeding.
yep.
That's got to happen. That's got to happen. So what
We
are your
should have
thoughts
a
on it, though?
fumble. We should have a freaking fumble. It's pissing me off. But I'm looking at Geno Smith the past couple of games. 2 picks yesterday,
Yeah.
a pick against the Cardinals, and then 2 picks against the Bengals. He's thrown for 5 picks in his last 3 games. I'm looking at the Ravens right now. Hell, Stevens is catching them. Geno's catching them. Kyle had his against the Browns a couple weeks ago. Make him uncomfortable, which I think we can. And if Owe can finish, please, like get there, make him uncomfortable. I think he can make some pretty errant throws, but the secondary is going to be tested. Lockett, DeKalin, and JSN is going to be. I mean, he's up there with the Bengals. I'm not gonna lie. There's potential with JSN, but I mean, DK and Lockett are a hell of a duo. So this is going to be a good test for this defense. We'll see who they are. Knowing us, we'll probably play up and put up a lot of points, and they won't score a lot. But that's all for Thursday. We'll save that for then.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
another
real
thing I'm
quick
going to be
though,
looking for that. Go ahead.
it was about yesterday. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say I'm looking for the defensive line to get those batted balls. Like that's what I'm looking for. They've been really good at that. So yeah, I need more of that.
The commentary crew yesterday, big
Heard a lot
talking
of people
point.
talking about that.
Yeah, I kind of tuned them out. That's what I do. I was
Me
like, I
too.
like to tune out the commentary because, I mean, sometimes just watching the game, but there was some stuff they said a little unprofessional at times. Definitely was not good. But the good news is that we have Jim Nantz and Tony Romo next week. For those who like that,
Okay.
so we have CBS's best next week compared to I think
Yeah.
Fox's worse or CBS's worst. Honestly, that was CBS yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday, like you said, I largely tuned out the what they were saying in terms of the analyzing part of it. I was just more so listening to the color commentating, part of it, just kind of saying what's happening in the game, quite literally. So that's all I was paying attention to be honest. But I did see a lot of people on Twitter very upset about the things that they were saying on there. But then, I remember there was a game a couple of weeks ago. mm, where I could argue the commentators were probably even worse. I can't remember exactly which game that was. I think it was the Colts game, to be honest with you. I think it was the Colts game.
Oh, yep, that was a bad one.
Yeah, I
That
was
was a bad one.
annoyed. I couldn't even tune it out. I was just annoyed the entire game, like just listening to those guys talk. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully we get a much better performance out of Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, which is what we expect. Always fun listening to Tony Romo call your games, and he tries to predict what you're gonna do before you do it. He's a
yeah.
funny guy. He's a
It's
fun guy.
it's weird because I didn't realize how long he'd been retired for because it popped up in my memories at a video from 2017 when Joe Flacco got leveled by Kiko Alonso. If you had your phone near you, I think we all took a video of it. It was just like real crazy at the time. That was
Yeah.
2017. Like that's when Romo was in the booth. I think he was the year before too. So he's been retired for what 7-8 years now, 6-7 years. So
Yeah.
yeah, good for Tony.
I remember
Good for
I remember Tony Romo's rookie season when he came
yeah.
out and just absolutely balling out, man. And it took like a good 6, 7, 8 games maybe until he finally started to come back down to earth. But before that, he was just playing out of his mind. And I had never seen anybody play like that before. Kind of reminded me of like a kind of like a Joe Burrow before Joe Burrow almost. But obviously he came down to earth, started throwing a bunch of picks, things like that, and he is where he is now. But yeah, I don't know. That was kind of a little blast from the past.
No,
But yeah.
love it.
So okay, I think we're gonna go ahead and leave it there for this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. We're about an hour in. Thank you guys so much for coming out to this episode. Again, if you're part of the hashtag replay gang, thank you. Special shout out to you. We appreciate you.
You
Like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. We still got almost 80 people watching live right now. That is amazing. Love you guys so much. You can find us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast, like you see down below. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def. Real simple, right there. And you can find my guy Simply AS10 pretty much anywhere at Simply AS10. If you just type in Simply AS10, his stuff is gonna pop up. Even if you don't even type out the .prod on Instagram, as long as you type in Simply AS10, he's gonna pop up. He's gonna auto
thank you.
populate. You just click it, you hit follow. Comes out with great content. I think you put out a video on TikTok. I was watching it earlier today. I'm not sure when you posted this one, but it was the George Kittle one when
That
he's
was
like,
Hey Kirk, throw me an interception.
yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Good old George. Gotta love
Yeah.
him. Bit of a weirdo.
Yeah.
Gotta love him though.
Bit of a weirdo, but I mean that's what I like about him though. He's so spontaneous and just like, you know,
He gets to invite to the
he's cool.
party. If you were having a party, you're inviting George
Oh,
Kittle.
absolutely. Absolutely.
He's gonna probably be on top of the table with like a beer in hand, definitely like,
Oh,
hair
for
all
sure.
over the
No
place.
doubt
But
about it.
good time.
No
Good time.
doubt about it. Okay, but again, you can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at those handles. And the most importantly, you can go on manscaped.com for this gift giving season. Get yourself something nice, or one of your loved ones, get them something nice. Use our code PRP on manscaped.com. Guess what? You're going to save yourself 20% off. Plus, you're going to get free international shipping. That's on us. That's on us. From us here at PRP. From us to you. Okay. All right. So make sure you take advantage of that. And again, just want to thank you guys for coming out to this episode again of the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 205. Please like the video. And with that being said, I'm going to let my guy Alex take us out.
Took the words out of my mouth. Thank you all. We love you all for coming through episode 205 of the Purple Rain Podcast. And as always, stay positive, test negative.
Yeah. And never, Never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call